Hi, I hope you're doing well today. My name is Eric. I am an infant domestic transracial adoptee adopted by white people, brought to Georgia from California at age 7, where I had to endure racism on my own and told that I was being ungrateful for my adoption every time I tried to ask questions about anything related to race or what's going on with me. And in this video, I'm going to talk about cultural genocide, which actually happened to me. I was never told my race. I was told color didn't matter. I was told that my parents didn't see color, which meant they didn't see me. And cultural genocide is something that still affects me to this day. I'm still trying to put the pieces back together. So what is cultural genocide? In transracial adoption, it refers to the systematic erasure or suppression of a child's culture, ethnic, or racial identity as a result of being placed with adopted parents from a different racial or cultural background. This concept is particularly relevant in cases where children are removed from their communities or families of origin and raised in environments that do not acknowledge, preserve, or support their heritage, language, traditions, or cultural practices. So some key aspects of the loss of culture are loss of cultural identity. Transracially adopted children may be disconnected from their cultural roots, leading to identity struggles and feelings of isolation. This is true for me as many other transracial adoptees. Number 2 is historical context. The term has been applied in discussions about practices like the forced removal of Indigenous children from their families in Canada, the US, and Australia. These children were often placed in white families or institutions as part of the policies aimed at assimilating them into dominant culture. Now, if you know anything about the history of adoption, the Native American Indian boarding schools, this was very, very, very damaging to Native American American Indians, Native Americans, indigenous people. And there was one guy, I forgot his exact name, but he was like the main guy, the sergeant, and he said, you kill the Indian and the boy and you save the man. So basically saying that raising them in white culture would be better for them, and that is cultural genocide. What do you think we don't see color means in transracially adopted homes? What do you think color doesn't matter in transracially adopted homes? You know, it's cultural genocide, and it may be well intended, but it is what it is. Number 3, impact on communities. Such practices weaken the cultural continuity of marginalized groups, contributing to the erosion of collective traditions and values. Number 4, criticism of adoption practices. Critics argue that transracial adoptions sometimes prioritize the desires of adopted parents over the best interests of the child or their community, potentially perpetuating systemic inequalities. To avoid cultural genocide in transracial adoption, many advocates emphasize the importance of cultural competence in adoptive families. This includes efforts to honor, preserve, and integrate the child's cultural background into their upbringing, as well as maintaining connections to their community of origin whenever possible. I am not for not taking care of children that need homes, need families, need safe care. I am for the best interests of children that are out there that have been abandoned by their parents or can't be taken care of by their parents. We need to get educated, competent, caring guardians, not legal guardians, but guardians that can have the best interest, educated people that have the best interest in mind for these children of different races that they're being raised in. And I hope this helps.